Bolognese podcast live with Liv. This is my first video podcast. I'm with Lizzy today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I've never done this.
Me either. So it's a learning experience
Yes.
for us both.
Be plenty of bloopers, I'm sure.
Yes. And thank you for trusting me on my first podcast.
Thank you.
I have a lot of fun video podcasts coming up. I know I shared with you. I'm not sharing all of the details yet, what I have planned for the fall, but I really tried to figure out some podcasts that either filled in the gaps of what Books Bolognese was missing or just enhance what I already really love to do.
Right.
And learn some tips and tricks along the way.
Yeah, there's so many different things you could bring into kind of like what Books Bolognese is already about and then add on. Because I feel like you're very like, you're so good at hosting and there's so much to Books Bolognese that you needed like maybe a cocktail element.
Right. I'm kind of a serial hobbyist, so.
Yes, but we love that.
Yes, we love that. So these are all fun things. The first is something that I'm not great at. So this is a teaching moment.
Yes, this is a teaching moment and I feel like you're going to catch on.
So on your page, people can find a bunch of different things. You do food recipes, cocktails, day in the life, decorating, all of your little decorating around the house. Yes, all those little things. And your Instagram has changed over the years, obviously, as you incorporated new hobbies and things like that. So if you talk a little bit about that for people that do not know about your page and want to follow you.
So it all started out as like a vegan cooking account. And so I started out just having like hardcore vegan followers for the first few years of the account. And then I kind of started to show a little bit more of my life, maybe like lifestyle home things. When I wasn't vegan anymore, that was quite a shock to my page.
They all left.
They all left. I think I posted a turkey meatball as my first one. No caption, not explaining anything. So you didn't
announce that it's over.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was cold turkey, like things are changing. And yeah, I watched my follower count go down and eventually go back up a little bit. But I've taken many hiatus from my page, just kind of not knowing like what I want to share because I feel like I changed so many things. But I guess it's just more so becoming like a lifestyle page as many are.
A little bit of everything.
Exactly.
And I think that's what a lot of people can find fun about your account. So, you know.
It's easy to post. Like it's easy to share that stuff because like often enough it's just relatable content.
Absolutely.
Part 1. Making a Spiced Pear Spritz.
So what are we going to make today and what makes it special?
So today we're making a Spiced Pear Spritz. What makes it special is it's just like an elevated drink but super easy and approachable to make. It does take a few ingredients, but it's nothing complicated. And it's
like maybe I can even make it myself.
You can definitely do it. This is something that you can handle. Even if you just love wine, beer, you don't really love cocktails, you can make this.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, let's get started. So we're making 2 of them. Starting off with ice. Filling the glass all the way up to the top because alcohol does melt down the ice.
Okay. So we have our ice. What are the key ingredients that we're putting in the cocktail?
So key ingredients is pear vodka. My favorite is Absolute Pear. Butterscotch schnapps. Schnapps, that's how you say it. It has like a caramely flavor to it. Prosecco. They aren't selling apple cider right now, so I just did apple juice.
How dare they?
I know.
September.
I was like, where is everyone? Apple juice, cinnamon sticks, cloves, and that's everything. I made this last night, so it's nice to give it a little bit of time to steep.
Okay.
And then lemon juice.
Okay, so even if you don't have the apple cider, you can still make do.
Exactly. Right? Even apple juice or honestly, if you strangely enough have apple pucker liqueur, like anything apple is gonna do it. Okay. For the butterscotch, you could always just use caramel sauce. That could really, the only alcohol you could end up doing is the pear and Prosecco. No Prosecco, just do club soda. There's so many swaps. Yes.
Perfect. Let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with our pear vodka. So you're going to want to do like 1.5 ounces of this. Should I be looking at you or the camera? Just you, right?
Yeah, don't look at the camera.
So on the camera. Okay. So you're going to want to do like 1.5 ounces of this. I'm just going to free pour it.
Okay, so that's free pour. That is something I'm not going to be doing.
You do not have to do this. You could measure. An average size shot glass is 1.5 ounces.
Okay.
So that would be like filling up an entire shot glass.
Perfect.
You could always do more. But yeah, free pouring is easy because if you're like working at a bar, which we're obviously not doing right now, it's just faster. And a lot of bar owners don't like having their customers see you measure out a drink perfectly, because it just could look like cheap. Like everyone wants to assume they're getting a good pour.
So how do you know that there's, like right now, how do you know that there's enough in there?
So typically counting, all bars do it differently, but the way I learned is like a full shot is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting like that. Sometimes there's not enough time to count.
With this
or
nifty
like
pour.
Oh yeah, with the nifty pour, this always helps. If you're just pouring without it, you're never gonna get the right pour, or even consistently.
These.
Yeah, get these. These are just like from Amazon.
Well, I don't normally make,
Yes.
But maybe I'm
pouring for
for
anything. Yes. Pouring freehand is just faster, but measuring out, that's obviously where you're gonna get the consistency every time. But practice pouring, you eventually are pretty consistent. I don't know how consistent I am here. Not too bad.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
No, that looks good.
And then the butterscotch, this is going to be like a 1/2 ounce. So here I would do like 1, 2, 3, something like that.
So that would be like a 1/2 of a shot glass.
Exactly.
Got
yes.
it.
And also like the sound of it too, like you could hear like how long it is.
That's the measure.
That could
Ooh, I can
help
smell
too.
that, right?
That one smells really good.
Yeah.
This is a very underrated thing to have at your house, especially as the season gets more into fall. I love having that. So we've got that, and then we're just going to do a splash of lemon juice. You could always add more if you feel like you're looking for like more acid. So lemon juice. And then your apple juice concoction. Just eyeballing, remembering to leave enough room for a splash of the Prosecco.
That smells really good.
Doesn't that smell good?
Yeah.
And we've got our cutie little Prosecco bottle. You could always add more ice if it's like really melted down enough, but I think we're good.
It looks very fall-y too.
Doesn't it? And then not filling up too high because the garnish will typically weigh it down a little bit. Once you have everything in, just give it a good mix. You could put all of this in a shaker and shake it and then add your Prosecco, but not everyone has a shaker.
Why dirty another glass?
Exactly, yes. So then we've got our garnishes. We're going to do some pear and cinnamon sticks, just keeping it simple.
Love it.
And
So
that's it.
fall-y.
Yeah, so it's typically a really nice drink. Let's see.
Cheers.
How it tastes. You can be honest. I think it's so good.
It's so good.
I love it.
It's warm, but it's still refreshing. Like it's definitely still a spritz. I can
change it
imagine
up.
myself on your couch with a blanket watching, or not watching a football game.
Yeah, and in the corner. The favorite seat. Yeah, this
So
is
good.
honestly like the perfect drink for the fall. I could honestly drink this in the summer, but for the fall,
Right.
it's
It has
perfect.
a little tang to it that you know that it's apple.
Yes, apple or the lemon, even like the cinnamon. Like I haven't tasted this by itself. This could also be like really spiced.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
the more
gets
flavors the better.
And then even like with using actual cider, it might be a little bit sweeter, things like
Yeah,
that.
right,
Like
that's
I
true.
don't like anything
Do
sweet.
you not like anything
So
sweet?
this
yeah,
is not sweet.
This
No,
isn't too sweet
it's
for you. Okay, that's
perfect.
good. Sometimes like originally I was thinking if I would have to add simple syrup, but you don't need it.
No. This is ideal.
like
So if
it.
you maybe wanted it a little sweeter, you could add something in like
Yeah,
simple
just
syrup.
add simple syrup.
Yeah.
And simple syrup is just equal parts sugar and water. Boil it until it's dissolved.
Right.
So it's
you
easy.
could just buy the one.
Or you could just buy it. Yes.
I
I love that.
Store bought is fine.
Store-bought is just
Part 2 Bar Cart Basics.
Okay, so if people are trying to figure out, okay, I want to make these cocktails, maybe one off, maybe they're hosting something randomly. They don't want to go out and get all the ingredients. So
Right.
what's a very standard basic bar cart, if you will, that people can get? And then also if they have a bar cart, what are some things that they can expand their bar cart palette, if you will?
Yes. So I think like simple things, especially in terms of alcohol, having like a vodka and a tequila there is great, and maybe like a Saint Germain, some type of liqueur to add into a drink.
Okay.
And then having your standard kind of like accessories. You don't need to be crazy. All you really need is a spoon to mix a cocktail at the end of the day, especially
one of those long fancy spoons.
Exactly. Keeping it fancy.
Yeah.
You could have a shaker, whether it's like the traditional 2 tins or the ones that you typically see that are taller and have like the strainer on top.
Okay.
That's really easy because it has the strainer. You could strain out of these, or you could also use a strainer like this. These are a great gift
advanced
set.
shaker.
That is quite the advanced
I feel like
shaker.
it should be all over my cabinet.
Even when I first started bartending, it was like so I kept using this because I was so nervous to like waste alcohol and spill the drink. So I used this for quite a while. You just put this over this, and you just pour.
It's easy.
And
I
it's
don't have
easy.
those things.
This is a great like little like gift set. To have or to give
and it's
someone.
nice on the bar card because that's
Exactly.
what my bar card is. It's just
bar
aesthetic.
cards are typically for aesthetic.
Right.
In terms of having like a variety of glasses, you could have like quite a variety, and it's definitely not necessary, but the glasses you could have are options such as a glass for a Moscow Mule if you really want to make it what it is and do it in the right glass. You could have a few of these, a beer glass. Some people don't like drinking out of a bottle or a can, so it is nice to have a glass. A rocks glass. This is typically for your like single liquor drinks, like a gin and tonic. Wine glass. This is like a white wine glass, I guess, but it's kind of just universal. I typically make spritzes in a glass like that.
Okay.
Then we have our red glasses. You put me onto these.
I love these glasses.
Love these glasses. They feel like so.
They just
obnoxious
feel
drinking from,
so
but
fancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They originally are the glasses that Olivia Pope drinks out of in Scandal.
Oh, really?
And that's how I bought them.
Oh, I had no
fun
idea.
fact. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I feel like I only have an array of wine glasses.
Okay, yeah,
Matt,
and there is such an array.
Yeah, Matt has a few different beer glasses. But yeah, I have these.
Yeah.
I love, this is just like so universal. I feel like even you can drink white wine out of those.
Yeah,
in the
white
summer.
wine spread. You could honestly
drink wine out of any of these if you want to.
You could get as creative as you want. I drink mimosas out of these.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
And then a Collins glass, that's great for like a mojito.
Okay.
I mean, you could really, like you said, you could do a mojito, anything, or even like a blueberry gin Collins. Like you could really like do up a cocktail in a Collins glass.
Okay.
And then champagne glasses, those are of course nice and sometimes really just decorative.
Right.
I'm never having a glass of champagne ever in my house, but
I feel like
they're pretty. So, well, because you are the fancy one.
I feel like they do get used.
Well, that's great. I
do
love
get
that.
used, yeah.
I absolutely love
So
that.
you said this was a single liquor drink.
Yes.
So like an old fashioned.
So even an old fashioned. So old fashions sometimes are even served in snifters. I don't have a snifter glass, but yeah, an old fashioned would be in a rocks glass.
Okay. So then would this be a dual liquor drink?
So yeah, like if someone wants like a double, you would typically. Sometimes people want a double and they still want it in this glass, and that's quite a drink. Some people want a double,
That's
but
a tricky customer.
Exactly, yeah, and I've seen plenty of them. Some people want a double but make it a tall, so they'll want a double in this, and that'll have more mixer to dilute it.
Interesting.
And which is
I
nice.
just thought this was like a nice water glass.
Hey, it totally could be, as it should be.
There's so many functional parts of all the glasses.
Exactly, yes. Glasses are important, but you definitely don't need the whole variety. There's definitely, like, if I had to pick 3, I would do martini, universal glass, and maybe the Collins over the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love that.
Okay, so we have our basics of glassware, materials, things like that. You mentioned a few liquor items that we should have. What about mixers? Because I feel like that, you need that.
Yeah, mixers definitely, like, to make like a cohesive, complete drink, I would say having things like club soda, ginger ale, Diet Coke in your house would be great. Even also like a cranberry juice and a pineapple juice. Having like sodas, 2 options maybe, and like a juice, that'll kind of, anyone could find something that they like. So definitely don't forget the mixers, because people don't just want to be drinking vodka on the rocks.
Okay.
So you want to be able to make a nice drink. And even like lemons and limes too. Just cut some of those up, maybe an orange that people could squeeze into their drink.
Okay. Now, I know in cooking it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to ask you too, in terms of cocktail, should I be squeezing the lemon for the cocktail, or can I use lemon juice?
Oh, honestly, you could do either, but a fresh fruit is always going to be so much better. Okay. Especially like I love getting like the lemon wedge and putting it around the rim of my drink first and then putting it in. So I think fresh is always the way to go, but I definitely have like bottles of lime juice too.
In a pinch.
Yeah, in a pinch are great. Natalie's lime juice or lemon juice, that's a great brand. It tastes like fresh squeezed lemon juice.
Oh.
So
you find that at the grocery store? Or is that a liquor store?
I'm at the grocery store.
Okay.
I'm almost positive it's like easily found.
Fun tip.
So yeah.
Part 3. Q&A with Lizzy. This is the part where we get to just yap.
Alright, so of course, I feel like you've been making cocktails forever, but what really made you fall in love with like the craft of creating one?
Honestly, so I kind of got like thrown into it, so I didn't expect to be like loving it at all. There was like a staffing issue and I was just like offered to help bartend. So I was kind of thrown into it, and then of course years later I ended up just still bartending, and I ended up loving it. So much more creative than just like I was a waitress, and you could really have so much more of a creative outlet. And I just love like the busyness behind the bar too.
Right.
And you're just much more in control of things when you are the bartender making the drinks as opposed to the server waiting on your drinks.
Right. And every drink is just could be a little bit different too.
Yeah, every drink could be different. And of course there's like the classics like the Cosmo, Mojito, an old fashioned, and those are great to make. But it's so fun kind of changing up one or two elements of those drinks to make them seasonal. Like right now at Cosmo, everyone's doing like a spicy tequila Cosmo right now. So that's how it's fun to switch up like a traditional drink.
Right.
So I usually take like one element of a basic drink and switch that up to kind of play around with it.
Right. And I can imagine in a restaurant setting too, it's much easier to change your drink menu.
Yes,
than
you
to
have
change,
everything.
than to change a food menu. So it's just
Exactly.
fun. You can experiment kind of on the fly.
Yeah, exactly. Every season, you typically change a drink menu, and it's just so fun to see like the trends and what's like older drinks that are coming back.
Do you remember the first cocktail that you made that actually turned out good? I'm sure you had some fails before.
Oh, many fails. Probably Cosmo, which was very random, but a Cosmo has a very specific color to it. And when I first started bartending, like days 1 through 3, like the servers at my restaurant, they're gonna tell you if they like your drinks or if they don't, because they're giving them to their tables, and they don't want their tables like, you know, sending back their drinks, so they want to make sure the drinks that are going out are good. So they would like when they started to tell me like, oh, this tastes really good, I was like, oh my gosh, like I kind of know what I'm doing.
Right.
But I think making a Cosmo was one of the first martinis I made, and it just had the perfect pink color with like the frothiness on top. You don't want a deep red looking Cosmo. That's like the worst Cosmo ever. So you want a bright, nice, like almost like a blush pink, and froth on top, pretty lime. It just looks so pretty, and I remember being like, I just made such a pretty drink. And I remember the servers being like, this looks so good. So I was thrilled with that.
So we're talking about all of your cocktail strengths, the last question. So what's the one cocktail that someone asked you to make and you just roll your eyes and you were just hating every second of it?
Probably a old fashioned, and not really because of like the drink itself, but the people who drink old fashions are very specific about how they like their alcohol.
It's my dad's favorite drink.
Oh really? I mean,
very specific.
It's so funny. I mean, yeah, and it is a specific drink. You don't want an overly sweet old fashioned. Like it's a dark liquor drink, and you want to be able to taste the liquor. So a lot of the times I was adding too much simple syrup or too much like fruit being muddled in there. But eventually there was this really grumpy man that came into the bar and ordered an old fashioned, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna make him even more grumpier because I cannot make this drink. But I like tried so hard to really focus, and we weren't busy to make a good old fashioned.
Right.
Using like raw sugar instead of simple syrup is key. So I had the time to do that. I was like, I'm gonna make this perfect. He ended up saying it was the best old fashioned he ever had. I don't think I ever made it that good again.
Right.
But I was like, oh my gosh, like I just made a good old fashioned.
Yeah, you should just stop there. You made the best one ever, and
retire from making
retire from that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, typically people get a little upset if I had drinks sent back multiple times, and sometimes they're just like an old fashioned that's too sweet.
See, I would last one day as a bartender. I'd be like, oh, they don't like it, I'm done.
I know, I sometimes take things personally.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a cocktail that's personal. Like, if you are so personal with your cocktail, then you should make it at home.
No, sometimes I really want to remind people, like, you could just drink this at home.
You chose to come here.
Yeah. Or if people are like, hi, like, I don't like anything sweet, what would you recommend? And then you recommend something to them.
It's like me.
But, well, you always take my lead.
Right.
And then people are like, okay, well, I want to try this instead. And I'm like, okay, that is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no worries. And then they're like, oh, I hate this. And I'm like, I told you it was sweet.
Right.
So that's on you.
Okay, so moving to overrated and underrated cocktails.
Yes.
Of course, I'm not super well versed in overrated cocktails, but I actually have an overrated cocktail that is my personal opinion.
Okay.
But it's the espresso martini.
That's the same. I say it all the time. Like, this drink is so overrated.
There was a time and a place where it was cool and fun.
And it's just overdone, like doing like the pumpkin espresso martini. And just like, we could just make a pumpkin martini. It does not have to be espresso. Like, everyone's trying to give an espresso martini all these different like faces. Yeah, I'm like, it could just be what it is, which is typically a good drink.
And I guess like if you're having an espresso martini after dinner drink, like okay.
That's the type of drink where you're like, okay, we don't want to go home yet. We don't want anything else.
Right.
Let's enjoy an espresso
We've had that
martini.
time.
Yeah.
We've
and
had
it's
many espresso martinis together.
It is great, especially when they're made well.
Right.
But yeah,
there's a time and place. It's just not now.
It's just not now. Exactly.
No. So that's my comment about overrated cocktails. I don't have an underrated one because I don't know enough. So what do you think? We have the same overrated cocktail,
Same
right?
overrated.
Okay.
Thrilled about that.
Yes.
Underrated, I would say, and these are just like my opinion. There's kind of two of them. A gin gimlet, which is so random, but sometimes when I'm like looking at a martini or like a drink menu and I don't know what I want, I'll randomly just order a gin gimlet, even though I don't have it a lot. But it's just equal parts gin and Rose's lime juice, which is just like a sweetened lime juice.
Okay.
And it is so good. It's definitely sour, but a really good drink.
Okay. So is that something that you could just order at any bar? Or is that a menu item?
That you could order at any bar. Okay. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone didn't know what it. I would kind of be surprised if a bartender didn't know what it was. You could do a gin gimlet or like a vodka gimlet.
Okay.
Any liquor, but those are typically the two most popular ones. And it's served in a martini glass, or you could do it on the rocks. And it's just a really good drink that I always forget about. Sometimes people will have it on their drink menu and maybe have like a simple syrup to it that makes it a little different enough to put it on a drink menu.
Right.
And then honestly, a daiquiri. That is underrated. It's not like a frozen daiquiri.
That's what I was thinking.
Like our classic, like it's just rum, lime juice, and sugar.
Okay.
It's just such a light, refreshing, like summer drink. No mint, so it separates it from a mojito. It's just a really like easy drink.
So I can imagine as a bartender you have a lot of them, but what's one of your biggest bartender pet peeves?
Yeah, I probably have 100 of them. But my biggest one is probably, and this is me being maybe like a little too picky, but when people are like telling you don't be shy with the pour, especially if you're making a drink, right, if they're sitting at the bar right in front of them, they say, you know, like don't be shy with the pour, or like give me a little extra. I used to be very like awkward in that sense and not sure if I should like just give them extra, which, you know, someone needs to like pay for that eventually. At the end of the night, sometimes like 10 people could be asking for extra alcohol in their drink, so you have to like show for that.
Right.
So any more, I would just say like, oh, did you want a double? Sorry, I didn't hear you. And they'd be like, oh no, I just want, and it would kind of like make it awkward for them, and they would have to say like, no, I just want free alcohol. Like, they wouldn't say that, but it would kind of put that in that situation of me being like, that's what you're asking me to do.
Right.
Meanwhile, if someone says like, hey, I don't taste any alcohol in this drink, like, no problem, let me give you another half shot or whatever. Right. But it's like the arrogant thing when people are like, come on, a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, do you want to pay for it?
This is just another reason why I would not be able to use bartender.
You definitely have to like hold back some like comments that you just want to make. And hey, if it's like one in one night, that's fine. But when it's like 10 people, I'm like I'm gonna be asked like, hey, did you charge anyone tonight? So that gets hard.
Sure, there's a difference between these two, but would you rather shake a drink in the shaker or your nifty little shaker, or stir it? I'm sure there's a difference.
Yeah, so there is a difference, and always like depending on the drink, but pretty much any drink I would like it shaken because it typically like mixes things a lot better and makes them really cold.
Okay.
You don't ever shake like a dark liquor. You always stir that.
Okay.
So if it's that, you know, stirred is just the way it goes. But yeah, I always just love it shaken. It'll be super cold, and you typically get like that nice icy crystal flakes on the top of a martini when it's shaken enough.
And that's where you can get like a little bit of foam.
Yeah,
it's like a Cosmo or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, if you shake it a lot and like enough, you're gonna get that nice foam, and it just always like makes the drink that much better.
Love that.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
And this is one of your specialties. One of my favorite drinks that you make is a margarita.
Oh yes. Okay.
So, you know, when you order a margarita anywhere, they'll say, do you want salt on the rim? Or sometimes they will ask if they like sugar on the rim. But just in general, what do you usually lean toward?
Always salt. I don't think I've ever asked for sugar on the rim, especially if it's like a flavored margarita, like a watermelon margarita or something. Like it's sweet enough, so I stick with the salt.
Right. I usually ask for salt with
Salt,
my margarita.
yeah.
I
Some
do like
people,
that.
Yeah, the salt is always nice.
Right.
And some people are just drinking it out of a straw and you like kind of forget about the rim.
Right.
But if you do like drink it like from the rim, it just kind of like gives it that like flavor element that you might be missing without a rim.
So if I'm hosting, I don't really imagine a time where I'm hosting and you're not there. So of course if you're there, you're my token bartender. But if you were sick and you couldn't attend,
okay. Yes, exactly.
What is the cocktail that you feel like I could totally make, but is elevated, that would still impress everybody, but is not going to require me dumping it out 16 times?
Yes. So I think like a impressive elevated cocktail is a French 75.
They look pretty in a glass.
They do look pretty in a glass, and it's typically in a champagne glass, so you could get use of those.
And I have them.
Yeah, you get use of those champagne glasses. They don't need ice. Some people like ice in them, but they're typically just gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, and champagne. I'm almost positive that's everything that's in it. And I know you're not the biggest gin drinker, right? But it is just a nice cocktail where even like I don't love gin, but I do love a French 75. It's just very refreshing, especially having the lemon in there.
Okay.
That's a nice drink, and you could like garnish it with a little sprig of mint and look fancy.
Okay, I don't have gin, so I'll have to obtain that.
Okay, so that one might not be for you.
But I could still pick up the ingredients.
But you can still pick up the ingredients, and you could sip on your Sauvignon Blanc in the back.
I'm making this all for you, but I'm going to have one.
You're completely missing out on this experience.
So it is the first weekend in September. I'm already in fall mode. You kind of are too.
Yes,
right?
The pumpkin spice candle has been lit already since mid-August.
Okay. I know it's kind of a touchy subject because some people are still hanging out to summer for a little while.
I don't know how.
But what's a good cocktail to ease us into the fall season? To make this weekend?
Yes. So honestly, say you're already prepared to maybe make a margarita, something as simple as like an apple cider margarita. Just adding in any of like a warm spice to any drink, even like an Aperol spritz. Add in some spiced apple juice, like how we made the spritz with today.
Make these. What are we talking about?
I know, you could be making, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Make a spiced pear spritz this weekend.
Okay.
It's so easy. And yeah, anything, you're obviously at the beach, so I'm thinking more like a spritz margarita, but just adding in that like spiced flavor, if you're that ready for fall. Honestly, even being prepared to be at the beach with like, think of like the morning of like a mimosa setup or even like a Bloody Mary recipe.
Oh, that's fun.
Kind of bringing that could be a little like morning fun activity.
Yeah, well, my beach guests are going to be in for a treat.
Right? They're going to be.
They're not even going to know what they're going to wake up to.
Bring that Bloody Mary bar to the beach.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Okay, few quick cocktail questions. What's your dream location to sip a cocktail?
So it's nothing fancy. Like I wouldn't say like the beach or like Europe. Like I honestly just like a nice backyard with like a fire maybe. Like a summer night. That's probably like the ideal night.
Yeah. Inviting me over. For said night. Yes.
Yes, on the patio. Perfect.
Great. This is delicious. dare I say that I might even be able to make this one myself.
Honestly, that's the goal. I figured this is simple. It had quite a few ingredients, but it's still so simple. You just build it all in a wine glass, and it's not too sweet. I figured this was a safe one for you.
Yeah, you know, I am a tough critic when it comes to cocktails, but
you are.
I've never sent a cocktail of yours back.
No, you really haven't.
You know what I like.
I wouldn't be offended. But yeah, it's been a hit every time.
Yeah. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
We're gonna take these and talk off camera.
Yes, on the patio.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. This episode was so much fun. You can follow me at Books Bolognese on Instagram, and Lizzy's page is linked there too. This podcast is on YouTube and Spotify, and if you haven't had enough of us yet, stick around for a few outtakes and bloopers from our session. Until next time, see you later.
Hello?
I'm starting this.
Oh yeah, so we're not looking at the dang camera. So sorry.
No,
You're on air.
You're live.
Okay, action.
All right, so are you ready?
Yes, I'm so Perfect. Okay, that was good.
That was good.
That
felt
gave
good.
What they needed. We're just like, we should do it all over.
Joke's on you, I know this one.
I had the script.
Everyone can follow you.
I was thinking,
I said I'd like Sauvignon Blanc in the summer and Cabernet in the winter.
Exactly.
So, you know.
Crazy.
Yeah. No time for funny business. I can't imagine. Yeah.